What's going on, everybody? Alan Cortez here, and in this quick video I wanted to talk about why I'm getting new leads but the quality sucks. I hear this all the time. Leadsbay, Alan, help. I'm getting new leads but the quality sucks. From my gym, from my personal training studio, boutique fitness, whatever you want to call it. It's a reoccurring theme that I keep hearing from different fitness professionals. And, I've heard this speaking to basically different gym and studio owners just looking to have a little bit more consistency in getting new members, right? Fitness, as you know, is a high turnover industry. There's a lot of competition. Things are always changing. You have to keep up with everything, keep your members happy. And there's a lot of moving parts, right? And into 2019, basically this year, most gym owners usually look to, paid Facebook ads to get leads and ultimately to try to get new members, right? And the thing is that, most people jump onto that platform over time, or as more and more gyms jump onto that platform over time, you basically have it getting more competitive and you have more competition to get new leads and to get more customers, right? So just like 4 years ago, I remember like 2015, basically, you can, go in to Facebook, throw up an ad. It could be like a generic ad. Nothing had to be too crazy. There wasn't too much competition, and you would get the results that you were looking for. But into 2019, the thing is that things are starting to change, right? And you can get leads pretty cheap back in the day. But today, the more and more people come on the platform, the more competitive it gets, and the more expensive potentially your cost to acquire a client can actually be, right? And these days, you really have to have a strong message to market fit to really just differentiate yourself and stand out from the competition and just not sound like everybody else, right? The point of marketing isn't to like make a sale and convince people to buy. It's to get them to see what you're about, to get interested enough to say, you know what? This looks pretty dope. I'm interested in learning more, right? It's the initiation of the pipeline, so to speak, before the sale happens. And, maybe at this point, you're probably already generating leads from Facebook, but, like I mentioned, you're noticing that the leads that you're getting, the costs tend to go up over time, or just kind of like the lead quality it sucks, right? AKA, leads don't respond, they don't show up to their appointment, or maybe you just feel like they're tire kickers, basically just wasting everyone's, time at this point. And, over time, you're always going to have those individuals in any industry that are essentially tire kickers, right? That are just looking to either get some kind of deal or aren't actually serious about committing to the health and fitness and just getting the results that they're after. You want to really just make sure that you analyze the problem, right? You're analyzing the problem around the statement, lead quality sucks, so to speak. So what the hell does lead quality sucks even mean? I've had clients in the past who say, Alan, the leads aren't good. I was like, what do you mean the leads aren't good? You signed up 30 members last month. There's no difference in how we're running things, and all of a sudden the leads aren't good, right? So I always say, let's analyze the situation before just saying, Facebook sucks, it doesn't work, let's throw in the towel, right? So there's a few things that I noticed up front that impact lead quality. Before you say that the platform sucks or it's the leads or blah, 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 you want to break it down systematically, right? And number one, you have to look at the source of traffic, the message, and the offer combination that you're putting out there. The thing is, these days anyone can really just throw up an ad, grab some images, say, hey, come check us out. But at the end of the day, it really just comes down to you having to stand out from the competition and have a laser focused message and a good offer to make sure that you're targeting the right people, so to speak. And you're not just targeting anyone from all walks of life, right? Like, anyone from the ages of 25 to 65, I'll train as long as they pay me money, right? Like, that's not going to be the best fit for targeted online marketing, especially with the Facebook ads platform. And, really how you advertise to men versus women is also going to vary. The language you use, the images you use to resonate maybe to that age group, the content that you use as well, right? The headlines that you use, all these things are going to impact the effectiveness of your ads. And with that said, that's essentially the source of traffic, right? So to just kind of summarize that point up, it's really just understanding that your traffic is going to come from different motivations in life depending on the age group, the gender, the message or offer that you're putting out there. And you really just have to test these things. And once you find those winners, you go down that path and iterate and make things better, right? So then number 2 is really response time and the message that you're sending. So really a simple fix to getting more of the leads you generate to respond is literally to follow up faster. I'm talking like within 5 minutes fast. And people have a short attention span, especially on the internet these days. And I heard it's less than a goldfish. Like the average attention span of a goldfish is like 8 seconds. Humans on the internet are now less than that, right? So they forget about potentially what they opted in for as time goes on. And I think that there's some like statistic that I read somewhere. I'd have to look that up and post that, but it basically says that after 20 minutes, like the chances of that lead responding when you follow up goes down by like 40%. If you do longer than like an hour, it goes down by like 60%. So speed is actually super important. And a lot of gym owners say, oh yeah, I'm following up within the day, like an hour or two later when I have some downtime. Like that's not always gonna be the best fit, right? And then number 3, just really diving into scheduling and the message, right? So the next thing to consider is the show up percent of prospects. A lot of times, I find that, people might get a good response, but getting people to show up is really an issue, right? So part of the initial conversation when you do get someone to respond is, getting them excited to learn about what you guys do, learning about that prospect's goals, learning about if, they're a good fit, what their motivation is, how excited or how urgent it is for them to solve their problems with health and fitness. And once you determine that it's a good fit and you're building a little bit of rapport, you're building a little value, you're going to get them excited for them coming in, not just say, hey, yeah, you signed up for this trial. Why don't you come in and check us out? Right? But if you build a little bit, if you spend a little bit more time either through text or on the phone and getting a personal connection with somebody, it can definitely improve the chances of that person actually showing up to their appointment. And some of the things that you can try is like try throwing in like a gift, an incentive, something for them, basically showing up on time. You can add things like, email or text autoresponders that link up to your different marketing, online marketing platforms like Facebook, for example, so that they get like an email as soon as they opt in. That way they at least are aware that you reached out to them, that you're going to be reaching out, and you're just kind of nurturing them, so to speak, before you even get them to show up. And number 4 is really the sales process and the message, right? So lastly, if they sat down with you, butt in seat, they came in for their consultation or they went through an assessment with you, at the end of the day, chances are that they're interested or open to the idea of, getting fit, checking out the gym, maybe signing up as a member. And we actually at this point are really going to be focused on demonstrating value, right? Just making sure that we are able to understand their current situation and take them through to their desired situation when it comes to health and fitness, and really just making sure that they understand that your facility, your services are the vehicle to get them there, right? That's super important as well. And if you do this correctly, at the end of it, they're going to ask you how they can join and how everything works, right? So initially you'll be asking the questions, getting them excited, trying to do really the assessment, understand where they're at. And if you do this right, they're going to be asking more about what you do, how your services work, and how they can actually join, right? Super important. And the thing is that there are different parts in the pipeline where things can be underperforming that leads to, a bad lead, so to speak. And let's go through an example. So let's say that you are getting leads for $15 per lead on Facebook. Let's say you get 100 leads, so you spent about $1,500 for the month. You get a 50% response from leads, so that's someone texting you, interacting with you, calling on the phone, you had a conversation with them, and then 50% of those people that you sat down or that you responded to actually show up. So let's say you get 100 leads, 50 people respond, 50% of those 50 show up, so 25 show up, and then your close percent for just your whole sales process is like 30%. So 30% of 25 would be roughly 7 new members. Now let's say that your price point for your membership is $130 a month. Then that basically means that month you collected $910 in cash. And then from there, you spent about $1,500 in advertising. So you're at a net minus $590 in profit. So you can basically see how playing with these numbers is going to impact your bottom line. Like, for example, raising your close percent by like 20% would make the difference between profit and loss in advertising. Or if you increase the response percent to 70%, the show up percent to 70%, that's really going to impact the bottom line. And you can see how everything really works and ties in together, right? So that's going to be super important when you're really trying to assess whether the quality of leads suck. And, steps 1 through 4, which is the message, offer, traffic source. Step number 2, which is scheduling and the message that you're sending to leads and the sales process, diving into that. That is all something that you have to test and iterate. You're not just going to throw something up, send a message, and it's going to work. You have to track your numbers, understand what your baseline is, and then try different experiments. And then if you're thinking, oh, Alan, well, you know what? Like, I don't have time for all that. I got to run a gym. I got to, keep up with the business, teach classes, et cetera, et cetera. There's just too much. I don't have time for that. Well, the reality is the competitor that does invest their time, energy, and resources into learning about these things, to implementing these things, they're going to win long term. And it's going to be a winner take all scenario, right? Because they're focused on the long-term benefits and the long-term strategy to make sure that gym stays profitable, while maybe you're trying a couple things short-term that work. Long-term, that other person's going to win. I don't know about you, but I'd rather, make money, make profit, help people get fit over, the next 5 to 10 years instead of, the next few months, so to speak. And, to be honest, like, not too many people I know, like, at the end of the day, really just track these numbers. But at the end of the day, data gives you the truth, and the truth is independent of emotions or feelings like leads suck. Like, when you look at the data, you track it, it is what it is. That's the truth. No matter which way you want to slice it and dice and how you feel, that's the truth at the moment. But you can make decisions based on factual data, very much so like the scientific method and the way that scientists can perform experiments. And that's what you have to do in your business. But once you get it right, once you get it dialed in, you're going to be, steps ahead of the competition, because they're not even investing their time and energy into things like this, right? And yeah, it's not the sexiest thing in the world. It's not like, getting fit, helping people get fit, meal plans, that whole process, anatomy and physiology, but it's still super important, right? And, that's one of the principles that I really value and implemented in my business. It's called Veritas, which is Latin for truth, right? And the truth basically means, like, I'm always looking to aim and to figure out what works in the fitness industry when it comes to attracting more members based on data and not really emotion. So, I mean, at this point, like, if you feel like you can definitely benefit from, improving the consistency in the leads that you generate through organic and paid marketing strategies, if you feel like you can improve your response rate, your show up percent to appointments, and overall your closing process and the bottom line for the business, so you're getting new members at profit, then feel free to reach out to me and connect directly and learn more about the 6-week program that I have for fitness professionals that touches on exactly that, right? So this isn't some crap that I made up and was just like, yeah, let me throw some stuff together. Hopefully it's going to work. Like, this is all derived from actual data, actual experiments, and just, going on 4 years of experience working with different gyms, studios, and boot camps across the United States at this point, right? So took that whole process of when I used to do it for gyms, and I put it in a step-by-step process that you can follow to just really give you that competitive advantage, differentiate you from the competition, and win long term. So if you're interested, let me know, reach out, and we can connect. That is it for this quick training. Thank you, everybody. Alan Cortez here, aka Leads Bay, and I will see you next time.